This is
Damn
how
right.
we roll on our third year anniversary of the Flixters, folks. Listen, this is really special because we are doing our 141st episode.
Yep.
This is 3 years. We started doing these podcasts on the 16th of May 2018, and boy, oh boy, we've had some epic episodes. I mean, I just want to quickly say, right, Deval, at the when we first started this, Emmanuel, also when we first started doing this podcast, these episodes they would last. I'm telling you, man,
my gosh,
they
they're
would
like
go
2
on for
hours,
2
innit?
hours.
I mean, that was my feedback after I listened to the first one. I was
It's too long, innit?
I messaged Val and I was like, Val,
This is long. And Deval, what did we
Not
used to
so
talk
often
about?
a guy's
What did
told
we
it's
used to
too
say?
long and he doesn't like the. I don't know what you know what it's because we didn't really have a structure. We just like because the way we started, we just said, okay, we want to do this. Let's just press record and talk and see what happens. Obviously, we started doing it with Infinity War. Infinity War was like a 2.5 hour movie. There's a lot to go on in that movie. So we literally went all in it. So over the years, over the months and whatever, we've whittled it down. I mean, even a couple of weeks ago, we did a show for 45 minutes or so, and the funny thing is, while you're doing it, it doesn't feel like that long, does it? It feels so quick.
no.
It just flies by.
Not at all. Not at all, not at all. So folks, if you just tuned in, so this is us doing our 141st episode, and this is 3 years we've been doing it. Emmanuel, he's a regular basically. He's not even a special guest; he's just a guest.
Nah.
It's like he just comes on and we love having him on the show. And so we thought we'd kind of get Emmanuel on board as well, so that's all great. And so we're going to be doing a film review, so looks like as if we're going to fit that one in, and if we've got time we'll do a hidden gem. But before all of that, Devaldo, what are we doing? We are doing our shout outs, and man, this is great.
Yeah, some quick shout outs, but very, very important. First one goes out to King.Solani, and she's shouting us out on Instagram, as she usually does. Go check out her page. She's got some really, really good content on there. And she just loves what we're doing. She's looking forward to seeing Stowaway on Netflix, and she may be interested to see Oxygen, which we're going to talk about later as well. So shout out to King.Solani. Dark skin women. Don't we all love all kinds of women, but dark skinned women on
in
Instagram.
particular.
This page is there to celebrate women of the darker complexion because historically there's been a lot of what do they call it, not shadism, colorism and things like that.
No, sorry. It's like kind of like lightening up people.
Exactly, there's been a lot of colorism that goes on in the media and stuff, and this page is there to celebrate women of the darker complexion because we're all beautiful no matter what complexion you are. So dark skinned women, go check out their page. Got some really, really positive content on there, and you won't regret it.
No, all I'm going to say just is on that one, be warned, because you could spend a lot of time going through that feed. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Just be prepared. Like, men and women, like, be prepared. You're just going to be spending a lot of time on that one.
And then last shout out goes to Zakroff, our very own Zakroff. And hopefully we're going to get Zakroff on the show in July because it would have been a year since Zakroff has been listening to the Flixters. So Zakroff, get your vocal cords ready and let us know your hidden gems. We're going to see you in July. There you go.
Exactly. All right,
brilliant. Goes to show how time flies, man. I remember Zakroff, first being announced, and then I was just like, wow.
Crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, man. And listen, look, I mean, Emmanuel, you've been listening to us babbling on for the last 3 years, man. So that's a big shout out to you as well. You've stuck with us all these years. All right, okay. All right, okay. Listen, we're going to do some movie news right now, and we've got some interesting pieces that we want to get through. Now, Emmanuel, I know you kind of dipped in and out of this show. You haven't been kind of like a real person who watches kind of like Friends, but there's going to be a Friends reunion, and this was kind of announced. I think it was announced last year. I think HBO is bought the rights to kind of stream in America the all of Friends, and they want to do kind of like a big whole thing. And then they said, okay, what can we do? Let's do a Friends reunion. Let's get all the cast members back again. And when are we likely to see this?
The 27th of May.
20.
They've
Well, okay.
finally set the date.
That's around the corner.
That is
Yeah.
around the corner. So,
Is this
Emmanuel,
needed,
what
do
do
you
you?
reckon? Is it
What's
needed,
that?
Emmanuel? Emmanuel, do you reckon this is needed? Is this something that people want to see?
It's
What do
not
you think
needed.
about it?
Well, it's not needed. It's not needed. No, for real, because it's just like coming to America too. It was not needed. It was just like it was done.
Yes.
But you just want to. But you know what? The thing is, they're bagging at least 2.5 mil each anyway. So they're all getting paid.
Is it?
Yeah, but you know what I heard? I heard that they get paid annually anyway because of the contracts that they've got. I heard they get like a
Yeah.
kickback every year, depending on obviously like
Yeah.
where it's being shown and stuff.
Syndication.
For this is shown on every channel in every country. Everyone knows Friends. So every
I
year
know.
I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I heard they get near $20 million a year on Friends, like just
Yeah.
from historic shows. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
So when
all
you
the
compare that
reruns.
to 2.5 mil, at least 2.5 mil that they're gonna get for this,
Yeah.
it's just like charity.
Man,
Yeah.
it's like a great
And-
pension. Great pension.
Exactly. And the thing is, I heard that it's not even going to be like an episode where, like, this a day in the life of the Friends. It's just going to be them sitting around and they're going to be reminiscing, talking about the old episodes with a few
Yeah.
bits of, new characters.
And they've got some special list of like special guests as
David
well. Like
Beckham.
Yeah, Tom
Beckham?
Selleck as well.
David
Selleck.
Beckham.
David
But Beckham wasn't in Friends, was he?
No,
No,
but
but the
he's
thing is
going to
they-
be in this.
Oh,
And
come on.
you won't know it. You won't know this group, but it's BTS. They're a Korean boy band,
Korean boy band. Yeah.
Ah.
and they were. I was like, BTS. I
What?
swear. I know I haven't watched Friends yet, but I'm sure.
They
Do you know
were-
what? Sometimes it's very strategic because maybe in Korea, Friends are very big. So maybe they
Yeah.
feel that they have to fit them in. But this is very
Yeah.
similar to the Fresh Prince reunion that came on like a couple of months ago.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
very, very same format on HBO Max as well. So, it's reminiscing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, but what the hell is David Beckham going to say? No one's even going to understand what he's saying. Like, what? It's just like crazy, man. All right, okay. But when it comes out, I mean, I'll be watching it. I mean, I got to say, I did watch the whole of Friends, man. It's just one of those things that you did, and it was funny and it wasn't, but it's fine. All right, okay. Now let's speak about this one, Deval. I think we mentioned this maybe a couple of episodes ago. Amazon, no, was it Amazon? No, sorry, Netflix. They bought the
Yeah.
rights to Knives Out parts 2 and 3, I think, and they've paid over. Just remind us again, how much did they pay?
It was a lot of million. Was it 200 or something? Or maybe was it even more? It was a lot of money.
Maybe it was something
a lot of
even
money.
more. They paid a lot of money for the rights of Knives Out parts 2 and 3, and obviously Daniel Craig, he's going to be back. I heard Dave Bautista is maybe going to be in there as well, but there's also going to be a Wonder Vision connection there.
I wonder who that could be. Well, Catherine Hahn, who she played. What was her character's name in Wonder Vision again?
Agnes.
It was Agatha Harkness. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's going to be a. Do you know what? I like her, because in One Division, she played very well a character that was like an old school kind of vibey 60s and all that kind of stuff. She seemed very good. I liked her. I can see her fitting into the kind of murder mystery kind of that kind of genre. What do you reckon, Emmanuel? Do you reckon she can fit into that?
Because how she came across in One Division, you could imagine her being the hairdo. The hairdo was just like similar.
Classic
so I can
whodunit.
imagine-
Classic whodunit. So
Yeah.
I like her. I think she'll be alright. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so do you know when we're going to be kind of seeing this? Is this happening like what, next year, a couple of years
2022, yeah, I think 2022 and 2023, respectively. So one each year because they're doing them back to back, so they can release them, one after the other. So I think that's when we're going to get them.
All right. Well, we'll keep our
Right.
yeah, we'll keep our eyes. I was going to say we'll keep our knives on that eyes.
Keep a knife sharp.
Exactly. All right, listen, we're going to move on to some Marvel news. And listen, it's only befitting that we bring in some Marvel news because 3 years ago, our whole episode was talking about Marvel. I mean, and we always come back to Marvel. Marvel's been kind of like, the backbone of the show for us. Yeah, exactly, staple. So Marvel, they're working on some new stuff. And let's not forget, man, we've had... obviously, One Division. We've had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it's already been a great year. We've still got Loki to come, and we've got all the big, cinema releases. But what else are they working on, guys?
Yeah, they reportedly, this isn't being totally confirmed by Kevin Feige and our little birdies, but Midnight Suns.
Mm.
Midnight Suns is something that it's in Marvel. It consists of Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Scarlet Witch, and Blade. So all of those kind of mystical, magical characters. Some of them have a darker element as well. They all.
Esoteric.
Sorry,
Mm.
Esoteric.
what's that?
So that's the I think that's the word you're looking for.
Oh,
Don't put words in his
oh,
mouth. He doesn't like that. Don't start
oh,
putting
mate.
stuff into his head.
You're throwing dictionaries at me, man. I can't deal with that. Keep it primary school for me. But yeah, exactly what he said. But yeah, all these mystical characters, magical, a bit on the sort of vampire sort of level and all that kind of stuff. Basically, they all get together and they've got their own team and they fight, darker forces. So you can imagine people like what's his name from Cathone from
Oh shit.
the book that was involved
Yeah,
in
in
Scarlet
One
Witch,
Division. Yeah.
One
Wonder,
Division.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, One Division. That's maybe be involved in Doctor Strange 2. You got
Nightmare.
what's his name? The guy with the tentacles. What's that guy with the tentacles called again? His name will come to me. He's a Doctor Strange villain, and he actually might be in Doctor Strange too. His name will
Oh,
come to me, but
hope so.
he's got an eyeball in the middle, and he's got all these tentacles that come out.
Oh, he's a god. I've
Yeah,
forgotten
exactly.
the name. Yeah.
There's all these weird names. Basically, this is going to
Yeah.
be a weird show. If you like weird, this is good. This is going to be it. But hopefully, this is something that could be coming out in phase 5. Actually,
Brilliant. It
Phase
sounds
five.
great.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the name of it just sounds great. Midnight Suns.
Midnight
Whilst you
Suns.
were just talking, whilst you were being esoteric there, Devout, I was kind of just having a quick look. Um, Morbius, he's in this as well. Ghost Rider,
Ah,
Werewolf by Night. So yeah, it's got that kind of that
yeah.
strangeness to it.
And you mentioned Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider maybe showing up in Doctor Strange 2 as well.
Hope so.
So
You
would
know
you like to
what?
see that? What do you reckon?
I think you know what. Part of this is like I feel sometimes there's spitballing. They're throwing out these, they're throwing out
Just
these
throwing these
characters.
names out there. Man.
Yeah, and then just basically seeing what the reaction's going to be like, what the reaction's going to be with fans, and then they'll be like, yeah, can we do something with that character because
Hmm.
they got a good reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ghost Rider's a deep character, man. I mean, he
He's
sold his
deep.
soul to the
This guy's
devil.
wicked,
I
man.
mean, obviously we got devilish shit going on with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. It could be Nightmare involved. Maybe they could mix it up with that. Ghost Rider is a deep. When it gives you this the penance there, when he
Oh
stares
man.
into your soul, and
Yeah.
mate, can you imagine seeing that on the MCU? Shit.
Man, it's really good. The Robbie Reyes, he was kind of
Yeah.
he turned up in Shield, wasn't he? Was he in
Yes.
Shield?
Yeah.
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 So yeah, there's all these kind of like incarnations.
Anyone but Nicolas
iterations.
Cage, man. Anyone but Nicolas Cage.
Oh
We
gosh,
can do without that. I reckon
please.
Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves could do a wicked
That would be really good.
Ghost
Yeah.
Rider. Whew.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
likes motorbikes. So
He does.
exactly.
Wasn't there talk of him being? Didn't they want him
yeah,
in the MCU somehow?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's talk of him being Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Adam Warlock, all kinds of shit.
They just want him. They just want him.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think that.
And Deval, you kind of mentioned the whole Ghost Rider maybe debuting in Doctor Strange 2. So this kind of this whole we haven't really heard much about like what's going on apart from the fact is that obviously we know there's a multiverse. We're going to be seeing different variations. Now, how much truth do you think there is in this whole? We're going to see the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. We're going to see the what's the other one? What was the other guy's name?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, his Spider-Man. Do you think we're going to see any of all that sort of stuff in this mix of multiverse?
Yes, I reckon we're going to see them all. I actually reckon they're going to somehow squeeze in the animated Spider-Man because his voice, he was really good.
He
I won't be
was good.
surprised if they somehow squeeze him in person and
Yeah.
he plays a character that is not related to Spider-Man. Because I reckon, what's the director's name again?
Lord? No, was it?
No. What's his name? He done Evil Dead. Sam Raimi.
Oh,
Sam
Sam
Raimi
Raimi.
always squeezes in Bruce Campbell into his movies.
Yes.
So don't forget about him too. So
Yeah,
I don't know. What do
absolutely.
you reckon, Emmanuel? Are you up for seeing all the Spider-Men, or do you reckon it's too many too many men, too many men.
Emmanuel's already like, nah, I can't be doing that.
Yeah, you know what comes back to me is the Spider-Man movie where we had Sandman, and
Oh yeah,
it was just like,
I was
yeah,
watching it
too many,
earlier on.
it was. I just felt it was too many villains. It was like it wasn't. It was one of those ones where it was basically we don't really have a great storyline, so we just put in,
Yeah.
we overcompensate with more villains, and yeah, it has to. Yeah, for me, they got to work together or something. It's got to be decent, otherwise, hey. The other alternative is that they're literally doing it for the money and that's it. So if it
Yeah.
works, it
yeah.
works.
I reckon it might be a thing where it's not. I don't think they're going to have a massive influence on the movie. I think the other Spider-Men will be like momentary, like they'll just literally flow through the film.
Yeah.
They'll
Be
Well,
like,
like,
come from
hey, what
a
are you
different
doing here?
universe. It'll be a momentary thing. I don't think they're going to be a massive influence because I think it has to still remain. What's his name? Tom Holland and
Holland.
Zendaya and all them lot. So I
Yeah.
hope that it's just a fleeting thing that happens that gets us all excited and opens up the universe to,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's shit that's going to happen, multiverse of
Yeah.
madness, because that
Yeah,
comes
otherwise
next
if he
after
messes up, man, I'm gonna go down and see Tom Holland down the New Malden.
that.
Down near my neck of the woods.
Yeah, he's a South Londoner, isn't he?
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
There
at
you
some
go.
point, we'll. I saw his movie Cherry, which is on Apple Plus. At some point,
Mm,
we'll speak about it on the show.
okay.
But
Okay.
just kind of the stuff that he's doing away from the Marvel stuff. But
Mm,
yeah, he's great. He's a great Spider-Man, and we'll see more of that. So
mm.
yeah, let's park that for a little bit. Let's speak about Deadpool now. What's going on with Deadpool, man? Are we? He's
Mm.
going to be in the MCU. He is definitely going to be on board, and they are going to keep him R-rated, which is great news for
Yeah.
us because we love that. But what's going on?
Yeah, so Deadpool 3 and Wolverine team up for Marvel Phase 4 has been
Whoa,
cancelled.
shit.
Um, as you probably know or may not know, like Ryan Reynolds has basically been talking about Deadpool 3 for the past couple years.
Yeah.
And even more recently, like tweeted that the plot for Deadpool 3, which he actually, emphasized, it wasn't a joke, his tweet, even though he's a bit of a comic. He tweeted Deadpool 3 was going to be basically like a road trip between Deadpool and Logan, Old Man Wolverine,
Yeah.
going
Mhm.
around trying to sort of unravel something like a murder mystery. But the
Mm.
reason why Deadpool 3 has been cancelled now is because they've brought on new writers from Bob's Burgers to
Mm.
work with Ryan Reynolds now. So it's been like 6 months so far. So it's just been a slow progression, and yeah, and that's the reason why it's been cancelled up to now. So we will get
Damn.
it. Yeah, we will get it. And like you said, they're still going to remain R rated. Ryan Reynolds, that's going to keep them putting money in the pockets anyway, moving Ryan Reynolds to MCU eventually after Deadpool 3. So it's, yeah, he's going to be a staple, really. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Because where did it end with the whole kind of on Deadpool 2? I can't even remember how it all ended. How did that all end?
All kinds of time travel shit. Remember, like Cable had to like use his time travel thing to fix something, and Deadpool went back and
You're,
forth. It was just all time travel shit. Remember the little
Yeah.
time travel thing machine that he had, and Juggernaut was involved, and they went to that home. The young kid
The five.
that set the place on fire, and I don't know.
yeah,
It was fun. It was fun. I think the
Yeah.
first one was
Yeah.
better though. It was
Of
fun.
course.
yeah,
Oh man, first one was great, great, great. Yeah, so we'll kind of like keep you posted up on all that Deadpool stuff because it is a great kind of great little franchise that they're working on. And Ryan
Mm.
Reynolds, man, he's really great. I really want to see his movie on whenever that's coming out. Is it Free Fall or Free Guy or something? Have you guys
Oh,
seen the
that one.
trailer for
I
this?
think that one's only basically cinema release, isn't it? They're holding that one for cinema release only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be kind of something that we can look forward to. All right, but check this news out. I want to kind of mention this. Henry Cavill. So my mate Henry, apparently he unsubscribed or he unfriended or he unsubscribed or whatever it is from Warner Brothers and DC on his
Is
social
it?
media. So check this out, right? So there's
Shit.
rumors are going on that that's it. He severed ties with DC, with Warner Brothers, and he's going a separate way because maybe you've heard about this. Maybe our listeners have heard about this as well. There's talk of them recasting Superman, and we've spoken about it on the show
The
before.
Black Superman.
A black Superman,
Oh
and
my
maybe
gosh.
that got up his goat, and maybe he was like, "Well, what the hell, guys? Like, you know what? I thought I was gonna be Superman for at least another movie, and if you're
Yeah.
talking about recasting it, then okay, see you later, man." So he's like off their Instagram, their Twitter, or whatever, and that's it. Yeah, man, he's pissed off. So they pissed off the man, the last son of
Mm-mm.
Krypton, man. What's going on? What do you
Flipping
reckon?
heck.
I don't know.
That,
The Black Superman. I don't know. I think that might have been a deliberate wind up, man. Because for me anyway, I'd prefer Superman just being white and
Yeah,
yeah, just keep it original.
they're forcing it. There's other black characters they can make. They're
yeah,
forcing in. I don't know I don't know who had that idea. You know, DC's all kinds of madness, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Just imagine. I don't know what kind of the Black Superman.
Are they serious on that one or not?
you know
I don't
what?
know.
Because
I think
apparently they've hired a writer to start
Yeah.
working on the script, and this writer, she's worked on, I think is it them, or she's worked on a show
Mm,
where and I get it, because if you are going to kind of write a story where it's where that person portraying it as a person of color, then you need to
mm,
get a person of color who's going to be writing those
yeah.
storylines and kind of
Mm,
that dialogue and whatnot. I totally get that. So I think they'll
Mm.
do it going that way. But I'm like, yeah, exactly like what you said. There are other characters. We mentioned on this show about Green Lantern, and
Yeah.
Zack Schneider. He was going to have like Green Lantern in the Snyder cut as well
Mm.
at some point, and
Mm.
then obviously that got cut. So maybe John Stewart. Maybe there could be. Maybe they start off in that way, and then maybe start. I don't know. There's loads of ways of doing it, but it's weird the fact that he's kind of taken them off his social media. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
mm.
something in that, right?
Yeah, he's probably thrown his, dummy out the pram, hasn't he, with that one? Like,
Can you imagine, man? Black Superman. He's like trying to save the world, and a girl with a big ass walks past, and he's like, so, so,
Sorry, I just got distracted for a second.
really distracted. Probably arrive at the scene late as well. Be like, oh man, shit. Sorry, I was just look. Next time I'll be there on time. You know what I mean? You know,
Oh shit, man!
probably
Well,
be
listen,
driving a BMW to the event as well. Like, the little cars that go all the stereotypes you can think of, man. Can you
oh
imagine?
gosh, man, that is hilarious.
Probably have
I
a
mean,
Jerry
when
curl, man. Be like, oh, that's all
have
shit.
the chain with the
All the
spinning.
shit stereotypes. It's all going to be
oh
weaved
man,
in,
weaved in somehow, yeah.
mate. Trust
But
me.
yeah, listen, we kind of mentioned this before, and we said about Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he's probably got, if
Yeah.
this does happen, he would probably be a
Mm.
big shout out for
Yeah,
Superman, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if
He's got the
anyone at the
body for
moment.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
fucking
tell me about it. All right, okay, listen, we're going to end our movie news just on this one last bit of information. So, Star Wars, the Star Wars universe, it is expanding. May the 4th, that just obviously happened. On May the 4th, they released The Bad Batch, and you can catch that on Disney Plus, which I haven't watched just yet, and I know you guys have.
Ooh, I'll say
Yeah, I've
nothing.
watched
I'll
it.
say nothing.
Please say no
Good.
more. But check this out. Ewan McGregor, he was being interviewed just recently, and he just said that he was filming on May the 4th. So he's doing his
Ah.
Obi-Wan show. And check this out. He let slip, or he mentioned, he said that he's filmed a scene with someone really, really, really special. Someone he's never worked with before.
Mhm.
And he mentioned his robes. His robes are going to be different on this new Obi-Wan show. So so we're going to be getting a new Star Wars show, which is Obi-Wan. So I don't know where it all fits in with the Mandalorian and with the Ahsoka Tano and everything like that. But maybe next year we're going to be seeing this
I think
develop.
it's a
Man,
few
Wasn't he?
years.
He's wearing. He's going to be getting new robes. Has he got a promotion or something?
Who knows? Who knows? And
you know.
by the way, Darth Vader is going to be in this as well. So
Yeah,
they're roping in Hayden Christensen. I think he's going to be
yeah.
coming back.
It's a few years after we last. I think after the Sith, isn't it? But it's after the Sith and
Yeah.
before New
After
Hope,
their
so
fight.
somewhere in between that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Looking forward to that one. And like I said before, we can watch the Bad Batch. And if you haven't seen the Mandalorian, go check that one out as well. All right. Okay. Box set watch list again. Um, what have we got on this section? Devoured. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Invincible.
yeah,
Invincible.
man.
Oh man, let's quickly speak
All
about
right.
Invincible.
Who has not seen that?
No,
This
no,
show,
we've
I've
seen
seen it
it. We've
all.
seen it.
This show is wicked.
We have
Guys,
seen it, man.
you need to see this show, guys. If you're listening, go to Amazon, get your friend's
This,
Amazon account. This cartoon is heavy.
you know
Wicked
how I
cartoon.
usually binge, right?
Mm.
I failed and actually decided to watch this 1 week at a time, and I thought, you know what, I made the biggest mistake here.
Yeah, man.
I should have
I
just binged
got
it.
just got to watch
It's so
this all
good,
the way
isn't
through.
it? It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
episode
good.
7.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, the way I looked at it is like this, like the ending. Okay, look, we're fast forwarding here. So if you haven't watched this, then kind of switch off and then come back to this. But
Yeah,
at the
spoiler
end of it,
alert.
if Omni Man is, if he is this kind of like superhuman being and like he's supposed to be taking over the worlds and whatnot, he leaves his son and he kind of feels some sort of love for him. Does he come back and are there more Omni people? Is he going to come back with more? How's his son going to kind of like, defend the earth? Like, I was just thinking, shit, which direction are they going to take this in? It's mad.
This is based on a comic book, right?
Yeah, the comic
I
book
think so,
finished
yeah.
in 2019, so the story has been concluded in the comics.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a Image Universe superhero. I think
Right.
that was the comic book, and it was by the creators of Robert Kirkman and artist Corey
That's it. The
Walker.
Walking Dead guys.
Yeah, yeah. But what I like about it is that the voice cast
Good.
is good, and you can also you can pretty much imagine them as if they were the actual actors as well, because J.K. Simmons, does he not look like Omni Man?
He
Like,
does.
does he not resemble Omni Man?
He's
Yeah.
great.
And then Sandra Oye as well.
Sandra,
Like,
yeah, she plays his mum.
Frozen. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
all drawn to actually resemble. It's almost like they were cast first, and then the animators drew them to look like their characters, and they all really fit. What's her name? Zazie Beetz. She's really good in it. Obviously, Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
He can't do anything wrong at the moment. But
Yeah,
this whole, I just think if you guys ain't seen it, like just watch it. It's Vultramites. It's all like they're all like Superman.
How
type.
would you describe it? It's basically like if Superman came to Earth
Yeah.
and he wasn't the farm boy. He didn't have the upbringing of the farm boy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He has an ulterior motive, basically.
ulterior motive.
General
Yeah.
Zod. He came down as Superman, then he changed to General Zod, and
Yeah.
now he wants to beat everyone up.
And the
Like,
way
yeah,
he
so yeah,
dealt
go
with
watch
that team in the first episode
Yeah,
or second episode
yeah.
or whatever was wicked.
Yeah, the Guardians, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, yeah.
Team, yeah.
So Amazon, they're on to a winner over there. They've got The Boys, they've got Invincible. So go check those shows out. We think you're going to love them. And Netflix, they've got Money Explained. And I know, Manuel, you kind of shared this with us before, and I think you've maybe seen this. But yeah, tell us about Money Explained.
Yeah, so Money Explained is a new series on Netflix. A series of like 5 documentary episodes, and it covers basically like the social and cultural aspects of money. I mean, everyone is close to money. If you tell me you ain't, then you're lying.
Yeah.
I need some more.
No one likes getting mugged. No one likes getting shortchanged. Anyway, basically these episodes like go through like episode on like get rich quick schemes and why we fall for them every time, no matter like who you are or where you're from. It covers credit cards, student loans, gambling, and retirement. And
Cryptocurrency, is that in there?
That's not as an episode, but it is in one of the episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they talk. It's a really good episode. I liked the one on credit cards because we all have them.
Yeah.
I've got a credit card, but how they make money on you,
It's crazy.
and how there's basically credit card. They call them credit card hackers, these are people who actually own. There's one guy on there who owns like 20 credit cards, but he uses their um their strategies against them. So he
Ah,
plays it against them, and it's like, yeah, that episode was really good
Yeah.
because
interesting. Okay.
The thing with these kind of like these documentaries about money and obviously how money works and stuff. One thing it just made me think about was, back in school, we never had anyone
Mm-mm.
like, telling us about
no,
how money works, like, how this shit works, man. Like,
there's no point. Why would they?
yeah,
They want to
It was
keep us down so that we can
that,
yeah,
feed into
you
the
know what?
system.
Exactly. This is the thing, man. We never got like someone saying to us, "Well, listen, look, right. When you get older, you get the money. Maybe invest in a little bit, and or maybe
yeah,
look for ways to like have multiple streams of income. I don't all this sort of stuff. There's so many things
Mm.
that are going on with what you can do with money, but we don't get
mm,
that. So we're getting this through documentaries. People are
yeah,
creating stuff for us to kind of learn about this stuff, and we realize I think it's like the 1% of the world's population, they control like 99% of the wealth.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's
And
like,
especially with
Phew.
the whole lockdown as well, I think that's what's elevated the whole thing as well. Like, with the whole lockdown, people not
Mm.
working,
Yeah.
having to
yeah,
find like, other streams of income.
Yeah.
Everyone's all on the money.
yeah, man.
Cryptocurrency, doesn't matter what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, so check that one out. It's called Money Explained and it's on Netflix and you can binge watch that. And the
mm.
next one that we want to speak about is Warrior from, now this has been out a while now, hasn't it?
Yeah, 2019
Yeah,
TV series. But it was a friend of ours that mine and Deval's that actually told me about this, and then when I watched it, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is actually good. It's
yeah,
based on an original concept and treatment by Bruce Lee,
which is
and executive
incredible.
produced by his daughter Shannon Lee and Justin Lin, who's worked on Fast and Furious
Oh,
franchise
okay.
like Fast
Yeah.
and Furious 9 and Tokyo Drift, and he did the Star Trek Beyond as well.
Mm.
And it's basically two seasons of like 60-minute episodes, full on spaghetti western. I know you like
Yeah,
spaghetti western as well, peppered with your favorite
I
martial arts and
love it.
tactics.
Deval
It
loves Westerns.
is, yeah.
Mate.
and it's basically set during the Tong Wars in the late 1800s, where they were building the railroads. You got the interwoven story with the black slavery as well
Yeah,
during that times as well. And it's a really gritty spaghetti western. It stars some actors that I hadn't seen before,
yeah.
like Andrew Koji, who plays Assam, who's basically his first episode makes like an unforgettable entrance, the first impression when he basically emigrates to the US in search for his older sister.
Yeah.
You got Olivia Chang as well, who runs the brothel in Chinatown.
Yeah.
If
Look at look at Deval. He's interested now. It's like,
yeah,
Should have
and then
led
you
with
got
that.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Diane Dayon, who plays Assam's older sister, who we learned during the series why she disappeared and why her relationship between her and her brother is quite bitter.
yeah.
There's underlining, there's murky waters under in there, and Joanna Vanderham, who plays a character called Penelope Blake, the wife of a town's pompous mayor,
Hmm.
who she married to save her father's business, because back in the day it was that was the kind of like um, transactions that was conducted.
Mm.
Oh, I'll give
Dowry.
you yeah,
Yeah.
dowry, daughter,
Marry into rich families and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, to settle agreements and stuff. Yeah, so
Okay.
I think if you liked maybe Peaky Blinders, this
Mm.
is probably a show that if you like Kung Fu as well, this will be a show that you might like as well.
Yeah,
All
Mm.
right.
yeah,
Nice one.
definitely. Yeah, that's a great one. That's a great little addition over there. All right, okay, let's check out some trailers, and yeah, let's go with this one. So, House of the Dragon.
Mm.
So, Duvaldo, tell us this because this is kind of like a prequel to
Yeah.
the whole Game of Thrones universe.
Yeah,
And folks, you might remember that went on for about 9 seasons, and this whole kind of world building that came out of uh, George R. R. Martin's mind.
Mm.
HBO, they bought it, huge show. So what's going on? We're going backwards now, aren't we?
We're going back, forth and forth, like Aaliyah said. But this is a prequel. Game of Thrones. George R. R. Martin is back on board actually as a consultant on this to guide the writing, which is really encouraging. So
Mm.
in the first Game of Thrones season, he was on board for the first two seasons, and after that, they went off on a next tangent, and we all know how that ended. But yeah, this is House of the Dragon. This is going to center around the famous Targaryen household, who are just like in that day and age, they were the gangsters of of that land, uh, of the Seven Kingdoms. They're dragons. They had so many more dragons then, so much more power. We've got Paddy Considine. I can't say his
Yeah,
name. Paddy Considine. He's been in all like Simon Pegg films and stuff like that.
yeah, he has. He's been around. Yeah,
World's End, Hot Fuzz, all that kind of stuff. He's going to be Viserys Targaryen, who's a gangster. You've got Olivia Cook, who's playing Alicent Hightower, because we're going to have
oh,
some major families in this. You may have heard whispers of the Hightowers from the past and stuff like that. Otto Hightower is going to be involved as well. Big name in the past. You've got Rhaenyra Targaryen, gangstress,
uh,
gangstress, yeah, riding her dragons like no one can stop her. So you've got some really, really, really big names in this. So at the moment, they don't mean much because we've only heard, rumors, and we've only heard
yeah.
a legend. But we're going to see what this legend is all about. We're also going to have the Starks involved as well. So all I can say is next year, 10 episodes are going to roll out from April. Look out for it. Looking good.
Brilliant.
Mm.
Can I wait
I
for that
tell you,
one?
if I become an author, I'm going to put RR in between my first name and my surname. It's three dragons.
Exactly.
There you go.
Tell me about it, man.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
All right, let's speak about this next one. And I know we've got some stuff to say about this. So the trailer dropped for Venom. There Will
Mm,
Be Carnage, which is the second
Mm.
part, the continuation of the story of Venom. And so go back a few years when this movie came out. It was an actual huge hit for Sony. This was kind of like
mm,
really big. I don't think the critics were totally on board. It kind of got mixed reviews. I actually had a really good time watching it, if I'm being honest. Like, some bits were kind of like, obviously it's not an instant classic. It had some good
nah.
bits. Tom Hardy's obviously always watchable. But it did enough money for them to say, okay, you know what? Let's shove some more money into it and let's make a second one. It ended off with there being a kind of little cameo of Woody Harrelson. He's going to be playing Cletus Cassidy, who's Carnage in the comic books. But yeah, man, what did you guys make of this trailer? Because it's mad. It's a pretty mad one.
It's a mad one. It's a mad
Yeah.
one. Uh, I just, I'll be honest. I didn't really fancy the first one too much. I thought it was
Yeah,
entertaining, but I kind of felt like it just, I don't know, maybe it was overhyped or something. But
yeah,
this one, I'm really gonna lower my expectations because I think this one is either gonna be really great or I think it's gonna be shit.
shit,
I don't know
yeah,
why I think that. Andy Serkis is directing. He's the king of motion capture. This is going to involve a
Mm.
lot of CG and motion capture and stuff like that. From the looks of it, I think even Emmanuel mentioned offline that Carnage looks like not Carnage. Sorry, Venom seems to be a bit of a joker.
yeah,
He's mumbling
Yeah.
to the shopkeeper and stuff like that. And I don't know. This one we have to wait and see, but it's gonna be a box office like smash again, I reckon, because people are gonna run to see it because at the moment
yeah,
we can't see shit. So when this comes out, people are gonna be running to go watch the film. I don't
yeah.
know.
I've heard that in the trailer, you see there's a detective in there.
Mm, yeah,
He's basically a character. I think he's going to be well, what I've heard is that the detective character is going to be Patrick Mulligan,
mm,
who in the trailer I've heard is going to be Toxin,
yeah,
who's the spawn
Oh,
of Carnage. So it's
yeah.
like Toxin is the nephew, Carnage is the
oh my
father,
gosh.
and Venom is like grandfather, and it's
And
just going to be
another one.
like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just, for me anyway, like kind of like what you touched upon over there, Devout, was like it was very jokey. Like, there's a
Mm.
bit in the trailer where he walks into kind of like the convenience store and
And she's
the
saying,
the,
"Hi,
the owner,
Venom." Like, what's that? What's
she's
Yeah,
on first name basis with Venom. It's like, oh hi Venom,
I
hey,
was,
how you doing?
first
and
name
Did you have a
basis?
good day?
the thing is that was so weird about that was But as a symbiote, no one else is supposed to hear him because he hears those voices in his head. So how she
Yeah.
says hi Venom was just what threw me off. I was like, what? Wait, she either thinks he's like a nutter with like
Oh,
Yeah.
multiple personalities,
yeah.
and
Maybe in
and
between,
whenever
maybe in
she,
between films, he's explained what's going on or something.
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I
But
don't know.
yeah,
It
let's
was
wait
just
and
a
see
bit
what happens with
crazy
this one. This is out when this is out in September, isn't it? I think.
this
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, check it out. If you haven't seen those trailers, go check them out and let us know what you think. All right. Let's do some highlights now. We've
Mm,
mentioned that this is our kind of like 3 years. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we kind of want to go back a little bit and speak about some of the highlights that we had over the 3 years. And this one, right? This is super interesting uh, because this movie. This we're going to quickly mention this movie over here. It's a film called The Europa Report, and
mm,
it's a hidden gem that Deval mentioned on the show back in June 2018. And to this day, we still get people messaging us on our YouTube channel and writing comments about that movie, Deval. To this day, we're still getting these
yeah,
odd comments that come in and out. So, what? Tell us about this.
yeah. It's crazy. I mean, like you said, this was like hidden gem, like a really good hidden gem.
Yeah,
Came out in 2013. The Europa Report. It stars Charlo Chopley, who was in District 9, and
yeah.
Chappie, the South African actor. And the film is just about basically scientists. It's like NASA. They go out to explore Europa, which is a moon around Jupiter.
Jupiter's moon.
I
Mm.
won't make a mistake this time because when I first did it, I said a moon around Saturn, and I got mixed up. But it's a moon around Jupiter that is basically in a lump. It looks like a lump of ice, but below the first surface of ice, or the initial surface of ice, there's a massive, massive ocean underneath the surface,
Mm,
and it's said that this ocean carries more water than all the oceans of Earth. Yeah,
whoa.
let that marinate for a second. So imagine the volume of water we're talking about there, and the reason why this moon isn't fully like iced up is because of the gravitational sort of tiding that happens when different objects move around, and the heat but basically warms up different moons around planets. A bit crazy to understand, but basically because of the movement, there's heat generated in the core of the moon, which is why there's liquid water. These people travel to that moon to dig under the ice, which is about 7 miles, and then they go under the water to see if they can find life. So that's what it's about. But yeah, you're right. This was a massive, massive hidden gem. To this
Yeah,
day, people are still talking about it because the
I
science
know.
on this is actually it's quite realistic. This is
Was it
something
on
that I
point?
think could happen in the future.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
quite, it's deep, isn't it? I know you're a man of science too, Emmanuel, aren't you? You like a bit of science,
yeah,
don't you?
yeah,
So
That's good.
yeah,
But I
I
mean,
think it's a
but
good,
I mean,
great,
why
great,
do you
great one.
think? Yeah. So, Deval, why is it? Why do you think people are still kind of, talking about this movie like after all these years?
I think it's because one, real science nerds love a good sci-fi film that is
Yeah.
entertaining, factual, and has a element of it could happen in real life.
Yeah.
Like there's a film called Titan, which we covered as a hidden gem, which
Yeah.
stars a man that goes off to Saturn's moon, Titan,
Mm.
which has like liquid methane, like rivers and stuff like that. And to
Is
get
that the
him
one where it
to
was genetically modified, or
Yes, they genetically
yeah,
modified his
yeah,
DNA so he can then live on this planet because it's mainly methane and all kinds of stuff. But yeah,
mm,
for this one, this is it's realistic because
Yeah.
obviously, if there's oceans there, what could be under those oceans? It could be some kind of, some kind of life. I'm not saying
Life
that you're
form.
gonna get
Yeah.
Aquaman,
mm.
swimming around and you get octopuses and sharks and all that. But there could be some kind of life
Could be
down there.
Mira.
But
But
you
it's
know,
not even life either. It could be energy as well, some sort of energy that or fuel or something like that.
Yeah.
there you go. So
There you go.
interesting.
Yeah, so if you want to go back and listen to that episode, it's from June 2018, and obviously check out
Mm,
our YouTube channel. Um, we posted it up there, and there's kind of lots of kind of like chatter on there as well. So go do that. And also, listen, this wouldn't be an anniversary if you didn't bring up the movie that was huge for us, and like we kind of it was there's such big anticipation of this movie, Devaldo. Like, we were always kind of like talking about it, especially after Infinity War, and we were leading up to this, and it was a huge highlight for us. But this is Endgame from April 2019, and just remind everyone again, how many times did you end up watching this in the cinema?
Oh my gosh. I saw Endgame. Oh shit. Is it 12?
Oh
12 or
my
13 times in the cinema.
gosh!
I saw it in one day. I saw it yeah, twice in one day.
Wow!
Uh,
Imagine being the person at the box office being like, wow, I've seen your face. Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
But I
You
spread it
again? Here you
out. I went
go.
different places, so spread it out. I
No, but I
booked
mean,
time off work. I mean, we all. This is big for all of us. I mean, we all.
exactly.
This was the thing that you couldn't stand still for. You had to,
Yeah,
I know you, Emmanuel. You like to,
yeah, yeah.
binge things, but I'm sure even for this, you had to be there, didn't you?
No, I took took the days off. I've taken days off for premieres, man.
Yeah, we're nerds, man. We are proper nerds.
Got to
This,
be
but this is
done.
great. This is what I love. And listen, I don't know about you guys, but on one of the showings that I kind of saw over here, for me, always, the bit where Captain America,
Ah,
he finally lifts Thor's hammer. Do you know people? Like, do you know the amount the
Audience,
people were like got
audience,
out of their seats? They
yeah.
were literally going. They went mental. They went crazy,
yeah,
and you couldn't help feel kind of like this is cinema magic. This is absolute like cinema gold, man. There was like that movie had that. In terms of kind of like out of the two movies, Infinity War for me is
Mm,
is that
mm,
bit
mm,
better. I think
yeah.
it is absolutely amazing, that movie.
Almost the perfect movie,
It
Almost the
is, man.
perfect movie. Ugh,
And then obviously Endgame is littered with kind of of these great things.
moments. Yeah.
But what was it, Emmanuel? What was your highlight, man, for Endgame?
that one because it Captain America holding the hammer, Thor's hammer, because it quickly took me back to when they were all chilling at the
Um,
Tony Stark's
in Ultron.
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
they were all having a drink, and then he left it on the table, and everyone's just having a go trying to lift the hammer.
Mm,
You got
Yeah,
the Hulk.
mm.
even he can't do it. Yeah.
And then who was the one character that almost lifted it?
Cat
It
kind
was
of
Cap.
shook it a little bit.
It was
It's like
Cap, but then there was someone else, wasn't there?
No,
There was
Cat
someone
I'm
kind
else
of
not
who they
sure.
thought,
shook.
oh, he might.
And
It was
then
Cat.
you see Thor's face. He's like, shit, he's
Yeah,
gonna lift it up.
yeah,
Yeah,
And what they're saying is, if you go back and there's an interview that Kevin Feige gave,
mm,
he actually says that he's always been worthy to
yeah,
lift up the hammer, but he just chose not to do it at
yeah,
that point.
oh,
yeah, yeah.
the other person who lifted it up was in Age of Ultron.
Ultron. I
Was
mean, Vision.
Vision.
Vision
Vision.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that
yeah.
was a good one. Yeah, Deval, man, what did when you watched it the first time and then when you watched it the 20th time, what was it
Yeah.
like, man? Was it like the same
It's still
thing?
good. Yeah, the moments were just there for me. Like I said, the film was full of moments, and for me, I still felt that the butterflies or the buzz when he lifted the hammer and he went against Thanos.
Go on, Deval.
Even
What was said in scene two? Um,
No, he
oh, I
knows
know
the
that
dialogue.
was
I
when
bet.
that was when
He knows the script.
Thor Captain Marvel, and he went, "I like this one." Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that bit.
that's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
but yeah, no, good film, good film, good film.
Yeah, that was a really good one, and it was a great highlight for us as well because we kind of went into the whole movie and we spoke about it on the
Mm,
show, and
mm.
that was probably one of our our long episodes as well. And another thing that we want to kind of quickly mention as a highlight for us, this was just absolutely crazy. I remember this.
Yeah,
There was a lot of hype behind um,
Get Out.
the Get Out, a huge hype, and we watched it. We loved that movie. Obviously, Daniel Kaluuya and everything, and Jordan Peele, and it kind of, it came out of nowhere as well, and kind of like took a lot of people by surprise. Critics loved it. It was good at the box office, and then there was a lot of anticipation for Jordan Peele's next movie, and then the trailers started dropping, and we were like, okay, what's he doing next? And then we heard he's making this movie called Us, and we uploaded the trailer, right? So this is crazy. So he uploaded the trailer. I remember this specifically, right? He uploaded the trailer on our YouTube channel, and we get a few kind of like views and stuff like that. And the next thing you know, Deval messages me and he goes, "Have you seen our YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Yeah, what? Like what? What's on there?" And he goes, "Have you seen the Us trailer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've seen it." And he goes, "No, no, have a look at how many people have seen the Us trailer." And it was like 100. It was over 100,000 people.
Yeah,
And
it's just
I was just
climbing
like,
up, climbing up. I was like,
"What?
what?
What's going on? Where did this come from?" So what was that? What was that whole thing, Deval?
That was a unique moment because like we put different things on YouTube and you get a few views here and there, but we just want to share. We're not really there to not counting views and stuff like that. But this
Yeah.
one here, it was posted on Christmas Eve. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Christmas Eve, 2018. Everyone's home. Posted it, and the phone was just popping off, just comments and views with 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. I was like, shit, 100,000. And I think it peaked at like 131,000 or something like that.
Were you
Yeah.
seeing that, like the clock just go?
Yeah, it was crazy. That's like
Just
shit. Like
going up.
went to sleep, woke up, more thousands.
There
I
was
mean, for
more
other
thousands.
YouTubers, this is their bread and butter. This is normal for them. For us, it
Yeah.
wasn't normal. So we got a bit excited,
Yeah,
Posted another
we did.
video after that, got 5 views.
Got five, got nothing, got absolutely
know,
nothing.
back to
But you know what?
normality.
The great thing for me was it was reading the comments. It was
Yeah,
reading the comments, and obviously there's like thousands of comments, people saying,
yeah.
"Oh, what could the theory be? And what's this? And what's that?"
Mm,
That was brilliant, and people were having debates, man.
yeah,
There
yeah.
was some proper
That's what I really
debates
like
about,
about it. Actually, it's not even the views; it's the interaction. You're right. That's what
yeah.
is the best thing.
So for me, that was a great highlight over the last 3 years, and just kind of having that, seeing how movies affect people. Like people, like for some people, yeah, they just go to the cinema, they just want to just kind of switch off for a couple of hours, and then they go home, and that's it. They get back to life. But there's people out there who really, really kind of, they get into the whole world of the movie that they're watching, and there's kind of like theories, and there's other shit going on behind, and we do that on this show ourselves, and it's great just to kind of see that. So yeah, folks, if you kind of want to go back and check those episodes out, please do. June 2018, April 2019, and sometime in, well, yeah, December 2018, I think it was, when the whole Us
Yeah.
trailer, you can go
Because I think
online.
because I think for me it was the one that thing that stuck in my head as was um, hearing Jordan Peele basically directing, and then after the movie came out, it was just like, who knew, this guy who basically cracks jokes
Comedy,
is
yeah.
is talented. You know what I mean? Like, he produced this movie. That was just that
Yeah.
was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I think that's why Chris Rock got all excited and got himself involved in Saw, which
Oh,
isn't out here
Saw.
in the UK yet, but I think we'll be
Yeah.
seeing that for next week. So
We're
let's
going to
see
be
how
watching that one.
Spiral turns out.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which, by the way, guys, I mean, I'm hearing some good. I don't want to say it. I don't want to jinx it.
Is
My
it?
expectation is low, but I'm hearing really, really good stuff about it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
not
Okay,
Chris
Uh,
cool.
Samuels. No.
Yeah, Sam, man. We'll see what Big Sam's doing in that one. All right, okay, listen. So we're going to be doing Anniversary Corner. Now, Anniversary Corner has been a staple of this show, where we've kind of, always brought, some movies which are kind of, 10 years old
Mm.
all the way up to kind of like 30 years old. And we've got, man, the number of movies that we've spoken about. And, whilst the show is obviously, we've had iterations of the show and stuff like that, we've kind of thought maybe sometimes we speak too much about these movies, and kind of like, we need to change it up a bit. So we've kind of been focusing on maybe one or two movies on Anniversary Corner. And so on this episode, we've got one movie that we want to speak about from 10 years ago, and this is from 2011. Now, guys, I've actually seen this movie. Have you two seen it?
I ain't seen it, no.
Yeah, I actually watched this. The Iron Lady, referring to Margaret Thatcher, who was the Prime Minister in the 70s and 80s, or she won in 79 or something like that, and then
Yeah.
throughout the up until John Major got in there. But what's her name? She always wins the Oscar.
Meryl Streep. Yeah.
Meryl Streep. She
Yeah.
does I've got to say, man, there's a good performance in there. She
Yeah.
plays Margaret Thatcher. She gets that whole accent. She gets the mannerisms. She gets the whole thing. And yeah.
Oh, actually, I have seen this.
Yeah, so Amanda, you've seen it. So she kind of encapsulates that whole thing, that vibe of the 80s. Her starting off her political career, and you know what? A lot of people don't realize. I mean, she's she's been the one and only female like leader of the country.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Theresa May was afterwards, isn't it?
Sorry, yeah, Theresa.
It's forgettable.
Let me rewind that. Theresa May, the May bot, the May bot. So yeah, so it kind of sets a precedent, kind of set a precedent, like how
Yeah.
many world leaders,
Yeah.
in the Western world, like that you've seen female leaders.
Well,
I
you
can't.
got the
I
New
don't know.
Zealand one doing a really great job. Everyone's singing her praises. The New
Loved
Zealand
her.
president, people love her. They love
Yes.
her. And obviously, you got the
Yeah.
gangstress Angela Merkel. Love that name.
Oh man,
Like
there's
she's
she, man.
gangster. But
She
yeah, I
is.
don't know.
She
Yeah, you're
is.
right. It's not. I think now maybe more often, but back in the day, that was like a
Yeah.
rare thing.
70s
Margaret
and 80s,
Thatcher.
man.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
took away our milk though. I didn't like her for that.
Yeah, exactly.
In
I
Yeah.
know.
primary school,
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher, the milk
She
snatcher.
was not a liked person though back then either. Like
Yeah.
there were a
Yeah.
lot of changes that people were not happy about.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
The
So like
coal
kind of like
mines
the
and all that.
your coal mines, the poll tax, and all that sort of stuff.
But
So
great
this kind of
film,
like
great film.
it is. It is a decent movie. It is a decent movie, and it's kind of like a slice of our messed up, like history,
Mm,
basically. Like
yeah, yeah.
whichever way you look at it, it's there, and people should
Mm,
watch it. So that's Iron Lady. That is
yep,
from 2011, and I think she won the Oscar for it. Now that movie
probably.
has no connection whatsoever, no connection whatsoever to the main movie that we're going to be speaking about. However, we did speak about a movie last week called Stowaway, and it's kind of weird, Deval. We spoke about Stowaway last
Yeah,
week, where the
yeah,
theme in that movie was this idea about survival and about
mm,
oxygen. And
yeah,
this movie, like this week's kind of like main movie, is entitled Oxygen, and this
mm.
is a French movie co-production with American company as well, directed by I think it's Alexandra
Ah,
Aja
yeah,
Aja Aya,
yeah,
yeah,
I
French guy, French director.
yeah.
He's done quite a few things actually, and it
Mm,
stars the girl from Inglourious
mm,
Bastards.
yep. Mélanie Laurent
Oui,
or
Monsieur
Laurent. Mm,
Laurent. And so this is a sci-fi movie. It's
yep.
it's set in the future, right?
Yeah. Don't know how far in the future, but in the future.
So
Yeah,
let's set this up. Emmanuel, have you
yeah.
seen this by the way? Because I
I
don't
haven't
want to.
seen.
Right. Okay. You haven't seen it. Okay.
I'll set it up
We'll.
if you like. So yeah, so
Yeah.
we talked about a bit of space travel before, and in this film, Earth are looking to go to another planet and settle. So this planet is, I think, 14 light years away, which is not close. 14 light years is literally like the amount of time light would travel in that year. And if light is traveling 186,000 miles per second, you can imagine if you were to travel for a year at that speed, it's a long way away. So they've got this ship that has a nuclear energy source that can travel not the speed of light, but it can travel really fast. It'll get them there in 35 years. But in that time, they need to, they've got people in these. What do they call them again? Where they
Uh,
when they,
Cryopods.
that's the word,
Cryogenic.
cryopod. That's it. Yes, they can stay asleep for all that time and wake up when they get there. And unfortunately, something goes wrong in this person's cryopod, and she wakes up. They haven't even got to the moon yet.
No.
Oh wait, so
They just
that's
left.
21 million kilometers.
What's that?
I just did a calculation on
Oh, light
on
speed.
light
Oh,
years.
okay.
Check this guy out, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a very, very far, exactly. But yeah, the
Yeah.
moon is only like 240,000 miles away, and that's when she wakes up. Like it's literally
Yeah.
going to start the journey. So she's thinking, "Shit, I'm fucked here," you know. So she wakes up, lack of, and then there's been a sort of a malfunction in her cryopod, which means that oxygen is depleting by the
Mm.
minute, and it says she's got 77 minutes until the oxygen runs out. She's there talking to the machine, who is like a AI, trying to figure it out, calling people, trying to figure out where she is so they can come to physically help her. As the film goes on, you find out that there's much more than meets the eye. It's
Yeah.
not just about the oxygen running out. There's other shit going on. She isn't. It's not as a simple story as to who she is.
Yep.
She is a person called Liz or Elizabeth, who's a scientist, but it's not that simple. It's like, yeah, it's just not that simple. This is the future. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much, but all I can say is that she's in a lot of shit, and it reminded me of the Ryan Reynolds film where he was
Buried.
in a buried, yeah, where he was like
Yeah.
buried, and it was just him the whole time. The camera
Mm,
doesn't leave her. Like
nah.
obviously, it goes off to a couple of flashbacks and stuff, but the whole time she holds up this performance, lying on her back in this futuristic tomb, and you're on a journey with her. The claustrophobia is crazy,
Crazy
and
man.
she exhibits all the emotions that you would think somebody exhibits if they've got 77 minutes to live.
Mm.
And she does a good job. I like her in this. I liked her in Inglourious Basterds. She's also
Yeah.
in Now You See Me, that kind of magical kind of
Oh
trickster
yeah, yeah, she was, yeah.
film. she's
The
she's
Hulk.
convincing for me. She's good. But yeah, that's the film really. I mean, it's on
I hope
Netflix.
I hope that phone call is better than one to one, because that phone call is to
You
reach
got you
But
got
this
good
is the
lines.
thing.
You got good lines.
That was it. That was the thing. I was just like, how the hell? So obviously the technology's got. They must be obviously in the future and advanced to the point
Mm,
where you
Yeah,
can actually be communicating with someone from Earth and they're up in,
yeah.
yeah.
obviously outer space and everything like that. What I liked about it was she has to piece together
Mm,
parts of her memory and figure out, okay, like what Deval said, who she is, or what is she doing and how does she get there and what's going on, and what is her mission, so to speak. And like Deval said, she's great. She's a really great actor.
mm,
And yeah, man, we're seeing kind of like these. I mean, in terms of budget, it can't be like a huge budget for this movie, right?
mm. I don't think so because the limitations in location and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I reckon this wouldn't have been a massive budget, but it's
Yeah.
clever. The way they did it was clever. I like the creativity in this.
Yes. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get
Mm,
kind of get across. And I think it's actually a decent film. And like
yeah.
last week, I know we watched Stowaway, and we said, Netflix, they are pumping their money into kind of these productions. I think there's going to
Mm,
be a whole host of these sci-fi,
mm,
these kind of tales which are make you wonder, like, oh shit, yeah,
mm.
actually, what would you do in that situation?
Mm,
Really clever. Just to follow on from that, you can go on YouTube and there's a channel called Dust, Dust. They show a lot
mm.
of short films to do with sci-fi. Really clever. They kind of remind me of what we're going to talk about next week, which is it Love, Sex and Robots
Oh,
on
okay.
Netflix that
That's on
just came
Netflix.
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
Really
season,
clever,
second season.
short
Yeah,
sci-fi animations and films and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, just like Amal said, like this is the future of sci-fi. Really intimate, clever stories, drawing you in and getting you really, connected to the character
yeah, man,
more than the special
great.
effects.
Mm.
Absolutely. So,
Mm.
guys, have we got time for a hidden gem, or are we gonna cut it short there?
Yeah, let's sneak it in.
Let's
This is
do it.
a manual, isn't
Yeah.
it? If you've seen
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
anyway, you can quickly mention it and let us
Yeah.
know
So
about it.
Black Godfather. It's on Netflix. It's a movie documentary on Netflix. Oh my god, like it is really good. It is so good. Because have you heard? I mean, I didn't know about this guy until I actually came across it on Netflix, and it's
Uh-huh.
basically the story of Clarence Avant. Uh, and he's like a myth or a legend amongst the entertainment industry. Like
Mm,
he's like the man, or like I, if you need something done,
mm,
he is your man.
Right.
Like it's like he basically operated in like plain sight,
mm,
um, but behind the scenes of everything that you either heard about or watched. For example, like Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Bill Withers,
Yeah.
Soul Train.
mm,
He played a part in all of that, and he was responsible for you know for you hearing the soundtrack to Enter the Dragon, Mission Impossible, and 100 other top movie soundtracks through this composer, Lalo
Schifrin.
Schifrin. Yeah, Schifrin. So he's basically like he is the guy. Like you won't have heard of him. Like he just basically like he's so known, but he's so behind the scenes. Like you just do not know of him.
mm,
This guy, he's admired by all, and I mean all. And because this documentary had two former U.S. presidents talk positively, like Bill Clinton and Obama,
Wow.
about
Two black ones. Okay.
him.
Oh gosh.
And it was, and he's like, I mean, when I was watching it, it was just like he was like the personification of like Facebook before Facebook, because
Is it?
he was connected, and he started from like humble beginnings of being a booking agent for a guy named Joseph G. Gleisler, and he basically was the guy. He didn't have a title. It was just like if you heard the name Clarence Avant and then you be asking what does he do, there's no title that you can attach to him. He's just like
Mm,
a connector. You basically
Yeah.
know this person, that no, but that person, and then he'll basically like be pull this person, and then you know put reach give like a dove branch to this person and get it just basically pull these people
mm.
together
He
Yeah.
sounds
to
like an
create
omni
something.
man. Like he does everything.
Yeah, I
Literally.
mean, I'd say like the biggest thing about this listening and watching this documentary was that Clarence Avant, he was basically a guy you always wanted in your corner, because
Mm,
growing up during Jim Crow era, he
Right.
saw a lot of shit that went down, and he basically his mission or his calling was basically just to do right. Just to do what's right, because
mm.
working in the industry, um, you basically get fucked over. Like there's so many people that just basically want to fuck you over, and
Yeah.
he's basically just wanted to do right and make sure that you got what you was owed, and um, and
Mm.
especially working in the industry, you didn't get basically fucked up. Like
Okay.
so, if like there was people in there, like I think was Jamie Foxx in there, and it was basically like if you went onto a project and into the meeting, they offered you like 20K, and then you be walking out the meeting, he'll basically be disappointed. He'll walk in with you, and he'll basically say, you know what, let's go back in because they didn't offer you enough money.
Okay.
So
Mm,
yeah, so if you was expecting like your movie needed to be like you wanted 2 mil, but the movie was going to be like 20 mil, but you was afraid to ask for that.
yeah.
Mm.
He was the guy that you'd basically want on your side, because he would
Okay.
basically tell you they're not
So
giving
he's,
you
he's
enough
got
money
people's
for that.
back. Like he just
Mm.
Yeah,
he does right by
yeah,
people and
yeah, yeah,
sorts them
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Okay. So this is on
So
Netflix then. How long is
yeah,
it?
it's
Like
on
an
Netflix.
2 hours?
You know what? I didn't actually know. It could
It
have been
flew by
2 hours.
because you enjoyed
Did
it
not.
so much.
Because yeah, it's
Yeah,
that good that you just
yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
But
Nice one.
but he wasn't even a guy of big stature, but the power he had
Mm.
Yeah.
was was unmeasurable. Like
Okay.
yeah, his
We got to check it
connections.
out. We got to check it out.
Yeah.
I want to
It's on
check
my
that one
list
out,
actually
man.
already, but I just haven't had a chance to see it. But I'll check it out now because you've mentioned it as a hidden gem, so I need to see.
Mm.
Yeah,
No,
man.
he literally was a hidden gem.
Well, listen, there you heard it, folks. A hidden gem
Yeah.
from none other than Emmanuel. And yeah, man,
Oh,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
we
we've got
got
competition.
prize. Yeah.
Yes,
we've got a
competition prize.
competition.
Yes. There you go. Let it out.
All
Let it
right.
out, man.
So because it's the Flixters' third anniversary or third birthday, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it. We're gonna wh- we're going to offer our listeners, viewers, the release of Zack Schneider's oh my god, Zack
Justice League.
Snyder's Justice League, Justice League
The
in
4 hour
4K,
version, yeah?
yeah, 4K Ultra version.
Okay.
So, um, what was the number that we was gonna basically give it to?
So let's call it what, three new followers?
3 new followers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so so 3 new followers onto the Flixters. Yeah, we'll call their name out and send it out to them on the release.
Okay. So that
Well,
means one
now
person has to actually invite
Invite
three new
three, yeah,
followers
three different people.
onto the Flixters Instagram or something, and then that person that made the invitation will get the Schneider cut on 4K.
4K, 4K.
You know what? That is a great gift, man.
Thank
I
you
might
very
just
much.
make up some like fake account, man. I might just get that one myself, man. Seriously.
No cheating.
He'll trace it back to you. Trust me. He'll turn up at your door, and be like, "Give me back the Schneider cut."
Seriously, that's a great. And listen, man, 4K pristine. Oh, you know the one thing that we didn't speak about the Schneider cut, guys. I didn't get your opinion on this. He did it in letterboxed. He didn't do it widescreen.
4:3. Yeah,
4.3. Like what? Like what did you guys make of it? I mean, it didn't affect me or anything like that. But I mean, that's his cinematic vision. He went for that because
I think it's to do with IMAX or something, isn't it? That was the original original.
Yeah.
I guess idea that he wanted to show it in that, but
because wasn't that ratio the apocalyptic scene with Batman? Was that?
Oh, is it
in the movie?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
maybe.
That aspect ratio.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know,
Anyway,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But listen, So listen, if you want to win that, 4K pristine, like obviously, it's amazing image. Get someone to subscribe and get 2 more people to subscribe, and then you will get that, and we'll get in touch with us, and we'll DM you, and we'll do all that, and
We'll send it
it
out
could be
to you.
yours. Yeah, exactly.
you
Guys,
go.
this has been absolutely amazing. I say this all the time. Devaldo, thanks, man. We've been doing it for 3 years. Let's do it for another 3 more, and then we'll see what else happens after that. But yeah, Emmanuel, once again, man, thanks for joining us on this.
No, thanks for inviting me, man. It's always a pleasure.
Always.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.